All right. We are up. We are live. Let's let me get this pre-show puff rolling. We can talk about some video games. All right. Did I tweet? I did tweet. We're good. I remember that. All right. It is Saturday, August 1st, 2020, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I am Alex O'Neill, your podcasting person for this podcast adventure. And joining me this week, as always, we have Mr. Scott Guthier.
Hello.
Mr. Tony Horvath.
Hey.
And Mr. Brian Nobishin Jackson.
Hold on.
All right.
I was trying to see if I could still do that. And I was like, I forgot how to do that because I haven't used that muscle in like so long. So I just...
When you said hold on, which had never happened before, I was like, all right, everybody wait. Everybody shut up. Like, we're waiting.
Yeah, I haven't used my uvula, I guess you were saying, in a long time. So I was like, can I still make... Yeah, apparently I can.
It kind of sounded like the kazooie noise from Banjo-Kazooie. The bird noise. All right. Okay. Yeah, just me. All right. Sounds good to me. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Irrational Passion Podcast, a video game podcast. We're up on YouTube every Saturday night, 7 p.m. We're actually normally as normally scheduled tonight. Relatively a little late. Apologies, but here we are. And podcast services Tuesday mornings for you to listen to, where we talk about video games. It's just us. I feel like not a lot happened this week. This is just gonna be another. Hey, we come in. It's QuarantineCast time. Let's talk about some video games. We all played some video games, I imagine.
We got a little bit to talk about this week, although not a crazy amount.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you guys going. I don't have a lot going on in the games world for me, so.
Well, no, but the Nintendo leaks. But
oh yeah, the Nintendo leaks, true. But I mean, if you guys want to talk about that, that was not necessarily something on my purview, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
I just been looking at what was there.
Yeah, what was there, and all the different like N64 assets.
Yeah. On one hand, I'm just glad that it's all old stuff.
Yeah, and not new stuff, and not like personal information.
Yeah.
But it is interesting from like an archival standpoint, all the weird, wacky shit that people are finding in those games. I think I saw something about like expletives or whatever in source code or something, which is pretty great. I always like it when people put just secret fucks in their code for video games.
It's no, that it was more of like
that one's a bit different.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a translation thing.
Oh, okay.
Like buckshot is actually does hook shot. It's like it's pronounced differently in Japanese.
Excellent.
Like fook shot. So it'll be here. Fook shot is like buckshot. So
That's what I call it too. When I was a kid, 7 years old, like check out this cool fuck shot. Listen, we all have. To
when I was young, I couldn't say 3. I would go and say free. I couldn't say the for some reason. It was weird.
Yeah. I had a few friends.
That was a second grade friend.
I had a few friends with a similar like speech issues. So like, it's always like, do you remember how you got over it? Was it just like a thing that you figured out one day?
It's just something I figured out one day. I was like, okay, the re. Okay, I got you.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, let's get into some video games talk. Real quick, just a little bit of housekeeping over on irrationalpassions.com. A couple of cool things. If you missed it last night, we talked about it last week. We had a Gen Con digital online panel. Scotway hosted a D&D game with a bunch of cool guests. That's going to be up and archived soon. If you missed it, it was a lot of fun. It was really cool to watch them all. It's cool to have Ian Hink on Irrational Passions, some level of Irrational Passions thing. Yeah, that was a very proud moment for me. Sad I couldn't be there originally. Like, we had to submit for this like weeks ago, and I didn't know if I would be working or not. So we had to, because I was working at the time. I had to sit out, but I'm happy it came together, and it was a lot of fun. So
nice the Uber. That's like a trifecta, right?
Yeah, then
you got Ben already in some shape or form.
Yeah, we had a written Ben thing, which I feel like is a very appropriate for Ben Moore. Very, very good writer. Yeah, I'll make it happen at some point. I just got to make sure it's done the right way, and hopefully not the last collaboration. But it's really cool. Big deal for me and Scott and Jarrett and a bunch of very cool guests. So if you missed it, I think it'll be up on YouTube this coming week. But it was a lot of fun. Also, just up on the site, there's new Indie Highlights. If you don't watch Indie Highlights, it's a video series that Mike Burgess puts together where he kind of tries to pick out a lot of different indie games, usually PC games. There were some real good ones in this package, so I definitely recommend watching this one's. But yeah, it's really good, and one of the games in particular like really stood out to him, and we actually did a viewpoints on it. It's called Roki. I believe it's based on like Scandinavian mythology. Super cool art style, super cool lore to it. So there's another video for that over on YouTube. That's really it. A couple things. I got a written thing about Crosscode that's going to be up this week. And then tomorrow, people listening to the audio version, this is going to be too late. Tomorrow, 4 of us are going to sit down and play a Mario Party. Probably for like 3.5 hours, 4 hours. So buckle up. That's 3 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, Sunday. Join us. Or like jump in, see the beginning, and then like 3 hours, come back 3 hours later to see how broken we are.
Take like a screenshot of Alex at the beginning.
Yeah.
And compare it to the 3 hours.
At the end, it's just me with my head in my face, just like completely over it. No, I'm gonna order pizza. I'm gonna buckle down. We're gonna have a good time. Yeah.
Who are we picking?
Like character wise?
Yeah.
I feel like I might be the Yosh. Unless anyone.
I'm gonna call it when I get there.
Okay, yeah.
I'll pick by feeling in the moment.
Yeah. Like, what if Wario's looking particularly appealing?
Like particularly like a snack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extra thick.
Yeah.
That's what DK's for.
It's true. Is DK playable in that game?
Yes.
Okay. You never know with Mario Party. All right.
Was it Mario, Luigi, Peach, Wario, Yoshi, and DK? That's your choice.
It's just like 6 characters, right? So
Mm-hmm.
not a ton. Maybe Donkey Kong's where it's at, actually. Donkey Kong's cool. And it's like, since they took him away as a playable character later on, you have to appreciate the privilege of being able to play DK. That's it for housekeeping. Let's talk about some video games. Nabishin, how about you kick us off? What you been playing?
More Ghosts. Just slowly but surely. I still haven't got past Act 1 in that game.
Okay.
But that's a good thing. I just enjoy playing it a lot. So anytime I play a lot of it.
That's good. I have not touched it since that week it came out. I finished Paper Mario this week, so I'm excited to get back to it.
Mm-hmm. Katie was telling me she's going to jump into that as well as soon as she finishes Ghost, because like she's pretty much close to 100% in that game. And like, yeah, I'm interested more with the story as far as like where it'll go. She's been eluding me that interesting things happen, so like I just want to get onto that boat, but like I just enjoy playing it so much that like I'm not really even thinking about the story. So
yeah,
that's all good things.
Is it I don't know because I haven't played that far into it. I assume there's 5 acts, but there might only be 3 or something.
It's probably 3 because like 1 is taking me a while, and I always heard about Act 2 from everybody, but like I never hear about Act 3. Okay. I mean, when I say I hear about it, I mean like I just heard it. I always hear it actually was a thing, but I never heard anybody say anything about 3.
Yeah, if you look at the island, it looks like it's kind of cut into 3 chunks also. So that would make sense. But is it like, have they introduced you to like the more ghost, like the ninja tool set and narrative parts of the game at all in Act 1, or is that still like
it's still mostly like, oh, you're a thief type of thing more than you're a ninja type of thing. Not, I guess not a thief, but like an assassin, that's the word. Sure. And like I haven't met like a ninja per se, like so there's someone like like explain that, hey, this is what a ninja is. It's mostly just like samurai or people who are like part of Lord Sakai's like group. It's like his group of friends and stuff like that. So like everyone knows who he is. So it's like there's no like real like new characters that I've met so far, at least in Act 1. So like I don't know if that'll change with 2. So we'll see. Part 2, Act 2.
Because I remember I listened to like the kind of funny review of it just to kind of get a feel for it, and Greg talked about how early on in that game they talk a lot about that samurai part of the narrative, and then later on in the story is when they start talking about the ghost part of the narrative, and that's when they introduce those powers. So I wonder if like I just worry that playing like running around doing nothing or doing side quests too much in the first part of the game would like feel harder because you don't have as much of your tool set available to you.
No, it's pretty expansive as far as like the new stuff you learn and stuff like that.
Okay.
Probably even a little too expansive. I was like, you definitely get to the point where you're somewhat getting overpowered.
Okay.
So like raising up the difficulty is not like a thing that you should begrudge yourself to doing, because I'm thinking about raising up to hard now. Not that it's too easy or normal, but like you want like a little bit more of a challenge, because like you can like one hit kill a lot of people in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So like just stay on your toes a little bit more. I might try out lethal for like a half a second to see maybe that's even where I want to be at. I don't know how brutal that is, but we'll see.
Yeah, I heard things about the difficulty that made me want to try hard, but like early on when you don't really have a lot of tools, I feel like it is pretty tough. So, and enemies definitely do a lot of damage, at least again early in the game. Yeah, I'm glad it's still treating you well. I assume you're just running around doing side quests.
Yeah, that's literally all it is, man. Like very very reminiscent of me when I played The Witcher 3. I just got so wrapped into that. Like Witcher 3 and Metal Gear Solid 5 is like what I think about like when the open worlds like really get me, as far as like wanting to play just like every aspect but the story. Not that the story is bad, but like more of like everything else is distracting me. I'm just like so wrapped into that more than I am even the story. So
yeah,
it's interesting.
Totally. And that was 2015. I feel like that era of open world game is still like a benchmark for a lot of things. And I feel
I've been rethinking about Metal Gear Solid 5 a lot lately because of Katie's video that she sent me. So like I almost want to go back, but I can't go to another overworld right now.
Yeah, that would just be too much, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
Anything else you've been playing?
I beat Sonic 06.
Oh yeah, tell me, because we didn't get any of the journey really of Sonic 06 here yet.
Yeah, I kind of like knocked it out.
I saw tweets like late at night of like, I can't fucking play Silver anymore. We have to finish this. Come watch me finish this.
And it turned out to be a 6-hour stream to finish it, but like I was done.
Yeah, I
like,
bet.
As soon as I started Silver, it was like, no, this is too much. Like we have to end this, because like I am not like coming back to this trying to relearn the controls and like just dealing with this. Like no, we have to go through it.
We have to finish the fight.
Yeah, basically, and like. It was a lot of like running past enemies and like kind of figuring out his Silver stupid physics puzzles, just because of it's a new engine, it's the Havoc engine, so let's like show that off as much as we can with this one character. He's like literally the reason this engine is a thing. So let's just do it a lot with him. So. Yeah, it's pretty bad, dude.
Yeah, I don't like what are the physics puzzles for Silver? Like, is it just moving around blocks, or?
It's more of like so Silver basically can't do anything. Like he can't run fast. He doesn't like have like a homing attack or anything like that. So all he can really do is just like lift these boxes that are everywhere and like find an enemy and shoot it at them. So like and it's not like it's not like even like it's like a debris thing or something like that. It's just like you could stop missiles that's shooting at you, stuff like that, which is cool, and you shoot it back at them. The problem is there's no lock on in that game. And also the problem is pretty much anytime you press the button to like shoot it back at them, it hardly ever works. Like maybe like 2/3 of the time it doesn't work. So there's a lot of frustrating moments of like you just like you try to like you grab something to like get somebody, then you have to like turn your body with the thing to like actually look at them. So like that's the closest thing you get to a lock on, and then like you try to throw it and hope that it hits them. And there's a lot of that because like like I said, Silver can't really do much of anything as far as like what you're used to like playing with Sonic or even as Shadow. Shadow's like easy mode in that game.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask. I don't actually know anything about the Shadow campaign. Is it similar to Sonic?
It's similar to Sonic. Except that he uses vehicles like constantly. He gets in the truck. He gets on a motorcycle. He gets on this hang glider that shoots missiles.
Shadow's so cool.
What? Don't enable him, Tony. What? Why does he have vehicles? Doesn't he run really fast?
He can at times, but like he's also like very slowed down in this game for whatever reason.
So like just for me, and like I know I'm gonna make this 06 segment way longer than it needs to be, but I'm just so curious, and you're the Sonic expert, so like you're the person I would ask. Was it like for you, and you know, Ground Zero, day one when you were there when this game came out? For me, like I remember hearing, I never played this. I was like out by this point. Like I just really played Sonic Adventure 2. There were 3 campaigns, but like it was Sonic and then Shadow and then now this new character. Was that like did people want like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles as like the 3 camp? Like did people want this to be like a return to form almost? And like
I mean like because like at that point it was like this would be after Shadow the Hedgehog, so like we still got those in a sort of way. Like Sonic Heroes is like, hey, everyone's still there, and like you know, that's great, I guess you would say. But like you know, like I guess would say as I was speaking for myself from like when I was playing it, like I wanted like more Sonic like levels.
Yeah.
We didn't really get too much of that. Like Shadow the Hedgehog is a big distraction from like the Sonic stuff because of the shooting and like all that stuff, and like the mechanics of
so
Sonic,
edgy, you know, and cool.
and like the mechanics of Sonic Heroes like kind of fucks that up. So like you can't really like play the way you really want to play at certain times. So like as far as like, because like with Sonic is like it's like yeah, you do your normal Sonic stuff, but like the stuff that's really like fucked up with Sonic 06 is like basically all the enemies are useless because they're down in one hit. You just do one homing attack and that's it, and like they just like fly backwards and hit whatever debris that's behind them. That's how that game is played, at least with Sonic. And like so it's a bunch of just like running through the stages, trying not to like have glitchy things happen because it happens a lot. And then like you fight your enemies, and then like usually in the Sonic level there's like a section where he just runs at Mach speed, where he just runs really fast, and like you know, there's like debris or something like that falling behind him or whatever, so you're running fast and like you can't stop just going forward, and you can't stop, you can't break or anything like that. So the problem with that is because you can't stop, and like because the controls can be janky during those scenes, like you're just running into things, and like if there's one mistake you're pretty much fucking dead. So like if you're running on a bridge and like you jump, you can't like adjust in the air. So like if the bridge like suddenly turns or something like that, like you're just like running straight off the bridge from that jump. So like you'll just instantly die. That you start it again. And thankfully, I had no shame in saying this, that I played on an emulator on my computer that had like as an SSD.
Did you mod Sonic 06?
I tried to.
I'm not surprised.
I tried to, but like it runs really chunky on stream for whatever reason. So like I just played like pretty much the regular version.
Sure.
But because it's still on my computer, it runs like the loading times are almost non-existent, which is a godsend for that.
It's a game changer for that, right? Because it had terrible loading times before.
Dude, you don't understand. You don't understand until you do it. And if you were there, or like when the game came out,
You weren't even there.
It's like you load into a world, you go talk to somebody, they'll say hey, and like they move their hands and they keep moving their mouths when they're not really saying anything, Then the loading screen happens, and then like you go back to that person saying, "Hey," because they're telling you, "Hey, this is what I want you to do for your mission or whatever." Then it loads again. Then you do the level, where if you don't die, you'll not experience like up to it's like 30 to 45 seconds, if I remember right. Like loading each time.
That's
so
rough.
so like then you beat that, then it loads, and then it's hey, and like and he'll tell you like good job, and then you'll get your rank, then it loads again, and then you're back into the world or doing whatever else. So it's a lot of loading, it's a lot of bullshit with that game. And like I said, I played it in like as pristine as I could get it, like as good as I could get it. So and that made
4K 60, you know.
and that made the Sonic levels and the Shadow levels not as bad as when I first played it. So like that's why I was like enjoying it up to that point. But you can't save Silver because like it's so not good. But you do that, then you do the end cutscene, which is fucking nonsense, dude. Oh, I didn't even get to the point like what I wanted to bring up because you brought up Tails and Knuckles and stuff like that. They are in this game. Just like at certain points, like when you're in the Sonic campaign, it's mostly just Sonic stuff, and then like suddenly Tails shows up like, "Hey, Sonic," and then like you do a section playing as Tails,
okay,
which are all bad. They're all
I'm sure they're terrible. Absolutely.
This shit is like the worst, and like worse than like anything you can even possibly imagine. Because it's like he climbs a wall. Look, man, we're getting into this, aren't we?
Yeah, we
like,
are.
He climbs the walls and stuff like that, but you can't like jump off like the way you've been used to in all these other stupid fucking Sonic games. So like it's like the camera just fucking freaks out when you're in the wall and you don't know how to like jump off, and you jump off and then like you don't know where you're going at that point, so you have to turn the camera, and then by the time you turn the camera you're off that fucking edge and then you die. And that happens a lot. Tails is useless in that game. He flies, which is cool, but like his attacks are like throwing like rings, like different types of rings, but it looks like exactly like your rings. So like if you get hit and you throw your rings, you're mixed up with your other rings. So like you're trying to like get a ring so you can like stay alive, but like there's other rings around from like your damaging thing or whatever. So like you can die that way. What else? Shadow has Rouge and Omega.
Okay. Omega sucks.
Rouge is basically just like Knuckles. A little bit better, but basically the same as Knuckles. Omega sucks. He does suck. Like the worst thing about him, like they made him have even less personality than he has.
Yeah.
This is worse. Like how do you do that?
Oh, God, that's even. I don't know how you even do that, actually.
But they succeeded in that. And Silver's other playable character is Blaze the cat, which was from Sonic Rush on the DS. There was a character, and then she suddenly in this game has no like connection to like Sonic Rush whatsoever. Like she's just a character in this game, and then like she kind of dies at the end of it, and like you would think like after like because like after you beat the game, after she kisses Sonic and like he turns Super Sonic and all the other stuff, and like after that part is over, there's not really like a prologue after that. Like they changed it so like Elise, the human girl, and Sonic never met. So like okay, that's resolved. But like what happened to Silver the Hedgehog after that? Because Silver is like basically Trunks. He's literally Trunks actually.
Okay.
Comes back to the future to like change the future, so like that future will never happen type of thing.
This makes a lot of sense now. His design and how he looks and all that makes a lot of sense. Now.
Yeah, he's literally Trunks.
I love it is really funny. I love the disdain in your voice when you say Trunks. It's just like so disappointed. This is great for me. I just want you all to know I'm loving this.
But like after that, like yeah, they changed the future, but like we don't know what happens after that. We don't like Trunks, the Trunks of Silver. Like you don't know what happened to him. Like he's somewhat in other games, but not really. Apparently, he's in Sonic Forces. Someone told me, and like I played that game, and I don't even remember that.
Yeah, I watched the Game Grumps play that. I don't think I remember that either.
Yeah, so like it's weird, man. That game is something else.
It's over now, though. Did you feel so relieved when it was done?
It wasn't like as bad as like what I was feeling like with Shadow the Hedgehog at the end, but like, and actually the ending is pretty fucking hype. I'm not even like front about that. Like it's probably like one of the best supersonic sections ever. However, that game is fucking dog trash. So like, it doesn't. It's like why? Like we don't care.
Yeah, no, who would get here to give a shit about this?
Basically,
It's you, dude. It's you.
It's me and Gerard.
The two of you are the happiest people at the end of that game.
But yeah, it's definitely something. Let's say, oh, like, cause like ever since I met you, Alex O'Neill, I've always been like, we should play Sonic 06 again. And like just to re-experience that. I know I've always brought that up to you for one reason or another.
I know you have.
And I'm glad I've replayed that game. I honestly am. Just so I can like reaffirm that game is bad for my eyes and my memory and stuff like that. So like, it's definitely something like, oh yeah, we're not playing that again.
But
if I could help it, but like I'm just saying though. Yeah.
But would you say it's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be?
It's taking a long time.
I know there's a lot of hesitation. It's a tough question.
I don't know if I can say that because like I was in the most pristine way of playing it.
Sure.
For the most part, so like I'm not waiting 30 seconds for each load type of thing.
Sure.
I had to streamline as far as that. I maybe died like completely like game over died like maybe like 2 or 3 times. That's because like I said like my mind is like baked into the Sonic stuff now. So like I know like they're bullshit. So like when I was playing on stream and I was like, and Joe was on, I was like, does this look like this? Like looking at this game right now because I was playing like a Shadow the Hedgehog part or whatever, and he was like going through the like a burning city or whatever. Like does this look like nonsense to you? Like yeah, it looks like complete nonsense. I don't even know how you're playing this game. And I was like, yeah, I could see through the matrix of how like how to play these Sonic games type of thing.
The code,
so,
the
like,
green lines vertically going up. You're like, I know which jump to make.
Yeah, basically, and like knowing like, oh, I really don't need to fight this enemy. I can just literally just run past them and just like go through. Like the only time I need to fight is like when a wall is like in a way. So like that's the only time I need to fight. So like stop fucking with these enemies, just get through the level, and you'll have a better time. And I had a better time than I did previously when I first played it. But it's a bad game, very bad game. It's the worst one so far.
Yeah. So what's the updated rankings? Where's Sonic 06 on it? Is it above or below Shadow?
It's below Shadow.
Okay. Interesting. I remember, like last week there's a different tune. It's just so amazing to see how bad the bad parts of that game are, even for you.
Silver broke me. Like I said,
yeah.
Silver was the thing that like really was like, yo, I'm not putting up another second of playing this game. We're beating this tonight. 6 hours later, I beat the game.
And you were like, never again. We're good.
Yeah,
tying out on it. No, it's cool. It's good to have that modern take on it. Does Gerard have a completionist for Sonic 06?
He does. It was his 100th episode, but like it got taken down, so that means he has to recomplete that game.
Got it. Oh God, it's you and him, man, on this weird journey. So that's got to be the last video that he ever does. I feel it's like I gotta go out on top. Thinking about this while you're talking. Are you gonna play Sonic Boom?
No, it's not canonically on on my dumb mainline timeline thing. So no.
Yeah, because it's like alternate prequel timeline or whatever.
It's just an alternate take, basically, all in general.
Sure. I'd just love to hear your thoughts on that game. And the Knuckles exploit, the Knuckles jump. God, what a great game. Sonic Boom. I'd play that game. Tell you what. So what's next on the Sonic list?
Sonic Unleashed.
Oh, yes. All the Werehogs. Have you started it?
I played a little bit of it just to see like how it looks like on stream. It looks fine, so like I'll be able to play that. This is where like Sonic kind of diverges from me, and like this is where like
it's gonna be some new stuff for you, right?
Yes and no. Because I play Sonic Unleashed a good amount of it. I just never beat it. And I've seen the end of it. So like that's nothing new. It's more of like the play style changes on this one. This is where 3D Sonic goes like, it's like, hey, okay, we listen. You just like the Sonic shit. We're just gonna like focus all into the Sonic stuff. Also, there's a Werehog, so sorry about that. um, but like there's new mechanics like like running through enemies and like basically doing stunts again that you have done since Sonic Adventure 2 really and like emphasizing on that speed and like honestly I don't know if I like this version of Sonic games, but like we're gonna see. Like I do like Sonic Forces, but like this is pretty much this at its purest as far as like in the Sonic sections, I should say, where like like levels are gonna whiz by you. You gotta like react like instantaneously, going left and right and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know how I'll feel about it at the end of the day. I might actually love it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Because this is when Sonic is like, oh, this like everyone says like Sonic's not going fast in this game. So like, what's this a Sonic game? Like this is what Sonic is about, and like it's actually like like speed and platforming type of thing, especially in older games. It's just kind of a reputation with the blind processing and stuff like that about like Sonic being like a fast character and everything's fast and like you just whiz through the levels. That's what's a cool thing about Sonic. So like this game fully leans onto that. I guess 2/3 of the way. So we're gonna see how that feels for me in a 3D spin in a sense of playing a Sonic game.
Excited to hear. Mike Burgess in our live chat says his world is forever done dirty by being a part of Sonic 06.
He's not wrong. That song slaps. That song slaps so goddamn hard.
I don't know if I've probably heard it. I definitely recognize the name, so I just don't know it off the top of my head. But I'll listen to it after this. Excellent. I love this. The Sonic the level of interesting.
I actually have content to talk about.
Well, it's just it's a very introspective journey for you, and I feel like you have, like you said, you played all these games, so you just know that bullshit. You have a perspective on it that's very valuable. And I just enjoy hearing you talk about Sonic games. Did you play anything else this week?
That's pretty much it. I can't really think of anything else. Fixed my 3 on my Xbox One again, so yeah, I'll be able to use that again.
Play Grounded.
I already talked about. I didn't play Grounded. I already talked about playing the Destroyed All Humans demo, right?
Yeah, you talked about it last week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much where I was.
I remember saying last week, this game seems like it's probably problematic, and then this week people were like, "This game's problematic." I was like, "Yeah, it feels like it. It feels like it feels like a 2002 game in all the ways that you would want and not want." But it's fun, it's such a dumb fun game. My roommate was like really into it, and I had played it when I was younger, so I'm honestly tempted to play it.
Weird sidetrack. You were never Bikini Bottom, Battle for Bikini Bottom.
No, I was never a diehard on that. Never played it.
Okay.
I was of that time. I was like the license game I was really into were like all the Harry Potter movie license games.
Sure. Any highlight ones? I guess.
Yeah, I love the first 2 because they were they're like adventure games, really.
On PlayStation 1 or
on like PS2, GameCube.
Okay.
And it's funny because there was like the first game, like the original version of it was like a PC game that I played that was great. I actually really liked that, where you would like draw symbols for spells and everything, and like run around Hogwarts. And it was like laid out and like visually it was very weird because it was like, I don't know if it was pre-movie, but it was like leading up to the movie. So they didn't really have a visual point of reference for what that world was going to look like. And then they made like a console version of that game years after the fact, for that first movie, Sorcerer's Stone. And then the second one was very similar. The third Harry Potter movie game is probably the best one, I would say. Just because you get to play as Harry, Ron, and Hermione. They all have like special abilities. Like Ron can like see secret passageways because he's a Weasley for some reason. So like that was the first time like it felt like kind of an open-ish world sandbox Hogwarts that you could run around, and almost Metroidvania of like, oh, you can come back here later and you'll be able to get through this obstacle once you know the spell or have unlocked this thing or have access to this character that you can switch to.
Does it do like pretty much fixes all of Bear's complaints about the about the movies and your complaints, I should say.
No,
As far as like expanding with the what the books go into as far as in the games.
They do a little bit like Peeves, which is the poltergeist is not in the movies at all, and he's in the games, and he's really fun in the games, and they do a lot of good stuff with it. But like the games also have the problem of like filling in just other different not from the books bullshit. Like they don't fill in the gaps with stuff from the books. They just fill in the gaps with other different random shit or like filler to get to the next scene or whatever. But I really liked them as a kid. They were fun. Like growing up on playing adventure games with my brothers, like LucasArts adventure games. This was like kind of like almost like early like Telltale or Don't Nod style game of like walk around, kind of inspect items, pick up collectibles, solve environmental puzzles, and then talk to a bunch of people. And there was combat, like you would shoot spells at like crabs and and like cockroaches and stuff, like really really basic stuff. But I liked it a lot. I like those games a lot. That's the next like Barrett Courtney play through a whole series I want to see is him play through all the Harry Potter games. I'll make sure to send him an angrily worded email. That's all you've been playing, Option?
Yeah, that's all I can really think of.
Scotty, man, video games. What you been up to?
I ain't got too much new. Been chugging through more Code Vein. I'm very close to being done with that.
Cool.
I think the last time we left off, I'm not sure if we talked about it, but last time, at the very least at the last podcast, I had just beaten second to last main boss, effectively.
Okay.
And I had one more area to go through before the game was over.
Okay.
How pretty is your character?
It's Noctis.
Gotcha.
So very, very pretty.
The most pretty boy that I could ever get.
Extremely pretty.
Yeah. Literally, when Scott was starting to play the game, I was just like, I'm gonna find him a YouTube tutorial that is only 2 minutes long and ends up with a character that doesn't look like butt.
Thank you for doing all of us a service. Scott just walks around like a big ogre, like with deformed face, holding a club. It's like every goddamn
like literally
time.
like Noctis. All you have to do is just give him edgy hair, and you're done.
Yeah, pretty much. Excellent.
But yeah, I cleared that extra area, I think last week, and before fighting the final boss, because I've had the same build the entire game.
Yeah.
Effectively. And it is very good for clearing areas. It is terrible for fighting bosses.
Great. It's like playing on hard mode.
Just for reference, the build on your passive slots is 2-hand sword mastery, which is like, good. Then it's replenish HP when you defeat an enemy.
Nice. It's my favorite one.
Gain extra souls, which is haze in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one is something like it's something along similar lines, where it's I don't remember the exact effect of it, but it's another like explorer type thing where this helps you move around the map.
Okay. Like faster movement speed or whatever.
Not so much. It's more or less like I think it might have been a guard one. I could just if I see 3 enemies are jumping me because I made a mistake, I just hit guard and then I can kind of attack out of it.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it upgrades the guard.
Okay, that sounds super helpful. Having played that game,
so that and the giant 2-hand sword has been my build for the whole game.
Of course, I would expect nothing less from you, Scott.
No, I don't expect to drop the 2-hand sword, but in order to get just a proper build for a 2-hand to fight a boss, I basically had to do a shit ton of farming.
Oh, like with other weapons?
There's some minor adjustments you can make. A couple key skills that you can pick up, and perhaps an armor change that will turn you in from a farmer into a boss killer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's just that in order to go do those, I wouldn't say farming, but I had to do a bunch of questing.
Yeah, I mean, like it actually gets really easy near the end of the game to just go back and get whatever you need.
Yeah.
And especially like all the end game skills that you're gonna end up using, like 90% of the ones that you care about when you're later on, all require the same book to automatically unlock, and that can be farmed very easily from an enemy right next to one of the last campfires in the game. So it's really easy to just get all that shit. Also, the material you need to +10 weapons and armor drops from the same guy.
Oh, nice grind spot.
Literally, it's like the first bonfire and the second and the last area. You just spawn at that bonfire, and then it's literally you turn around and right around the corner is a big white knight guy. Kill that guy, and then get the item if he drops it, and then sit down and get back up again. You can do it. You can kill him like 50 times in fucking 3 minutes.
Jeez,
It's pretty good. So it's
nice.
a good way to farm out the end game stuff.
That sounds handy. I'm trying to think like.
Yep. But it's basically I spent most of my haze on levels, and because I've effectively been hard running through the game.
Yeah, it's a good way to get hazes from that guy too. I think he drops like 16 or something.
I think I was able to complete just for reference, Tony. When I started doing this, I was like a level 110.
Yeah.
So at level 110, I only had enough haze to buy, not counting mastering, like 4 or 5 gift codes or codes.
Yeah, it's
getting
fine.
all the gifts in those.
Yeah, if you go to farm for those materials, like I said, the guy will drop like 16,000 every time you kill him. So
Nice.
Yeah, but what I've been doing to farm instead, because I've been doing all the side quests.
Okay.
Because it's once I do all the side quests and finish all those, which I think I'm almost done. I just have a few depth maps left, I think.
Yeah, depths are also really good for some of like the medium tier book. Is 2 of them guaranteed drop off of one of the repeatable bosses in the depths of one of the side quest maps. So yeah, you should be set up to get whatever you need and unlock the entire rest of the game pretty much.
Yep, that's basically what I'm doing before I fight the last boss. I stuck to one build for so long that now I'm out questing, going back into the lower level areas. I'm just going in and kind of switching up my build a little bit. Like, for example, doing the blasphemous thing of switching out my 2-handed sword, right, for a 2-handed axe, and stuff like that.
Cool.
I also tried out a decent bayonet build. Okay, bad bayonet build, but you know what, it worked, so decent.
Yeah. I have one that actually lets you like shoot forever.
Ooh.
Because the bayonets in that game cost your mana basically, which would then mean you have to shoot and then go in a melee attack to drain more mana.
Yeah.
So you can shoot more. I built a version that you never had to go melee.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, there's some cool stuff that you can do when you really once you unlock all the stuff, or if you target farm for certain things based on what you want to do. And I spent a lot of time a couple weeks ago putting together builds and all that kind of stuff. So
kind of reminds me, like Infinite Shots reminds me. I saw this video of Ghost of Tsushima on Twitter of like, I guess when you go into like the areas that you're not supposed to early on in that game, people will just like nail you with arrows from a distance. Yeah, you might have seen this, Tony. So a guy like jumped off of like a tower, and then arrows just started hitting him, and he was just juggled in the air. But he had like perks and equipment on that let him like get resolve back from taking damage. So he was just healing himself over and over again, and just being juggled in the air by arrow after arrow for like 35 seconds. It's incredible.
Perfectly timed to the music too.
Yeah. Super good music for it.
I saw that this morning when I was doing my morning Reddit,
nice.
Take a look, see before I get out of bed.
Yeah, I think I saw it this morning too on Twitter. It was good. So yeah, infinite bullets. Just think of juggling someone infinitely in the air, full on like Mortal Kombat style. Do you play anything else this week, Scott? Unless you had anything else to say about Code Vein.
No. That's basically where I'm at with Code Vein.
Cool. I'm glad you're sticking with it. It's been cool.
Same few things in League and Tarkov.
Cool. Is Tarkov still treating you well?
A bit too well, to be perfectly honest.
Too easy.
It's not so much that it's too easy, but I got a little bit too lucky this raid too early.
Got it.
So the reason why that's it makes it odd is because at the point of time at where I am, like level 30, pretty much end game, but just starting to get there. Like for example, I'm not. I just had the first level of Bitcoin farm, which, for you, just for your reference, comes out like at 150% of the cost to just keep it running.
Oh,
So
jeez.
you like it costs about 80K to keep it running, and during the course of a day, you'll make 100 or 200K.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought it was
So,
the
yeah,
other way around, where it was more expensive.
no. It's not that. It's not that.
Got it. That's cool.
So it's a good chunk of money, but in the grand scheme of things, that is one fairly poor loadout, which is my standard loadout. But
Sure. Yeah.
so it's not that much. We talked about the key that I got early, and that kind of skyrocketed me just along the map, and I was able to pick up another medical room key, which to me it seems like they moved or drastically reduced the Amercom checkpoint key, or the Amercom medical unit key.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it's called. All the spawn chances in there, they moved them into that room because every other raid I will find a LEDX in there, which just a general raid going into keep is between 200 to 500K. A LEDX itself was worth 3 mil.
Okay.
Just as a comparison, a one slot item was worth 3 mil.
That's a lot of money. That is.
In comparison to an entire inventory full of other stuff.
Yeah, that's not
from
worth.
Another high value area.
Yeah, it's not even worth that much, probably total.
It just to put that in perspective, there can be 3 spawns in that room.
Jeez, that's 9 million if you're lucky.
They recently changed it so you can only pull 2, and just to be frank, there's the chances of getting 3 are like the chances of the LEDX spawning in one of the unlocked areas.
Got it.
Which, just for your reference, might not happen this wipe.
Got it. Yeah, it seemed like that would be something like next level rare.
Right. So it's just I go in through one of those raids, and like those chances of me getting the LEDX, of me opening that door, that's pretty lucky, to be honest, too.
Sure.
In general, when you go in there, you're looking for a defibrillator or a golden star, and then maybe you get the LEDX. But I've been very lucky with the LEDXs this run.
Do you know how many you've got in total?
7.
Jesus, yeah, that's a lot of money. It's like 21 million credits.
For your reference, LEDXs are now down to 1 million.
Okay.
And I got most of the high value ones.
Okay.
When they were still above at least 2.5.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. More recently, I found a couple, but I've been running with a duo guy who's very much so on the opposite side of the spectrum of me, where he is dead broke all the time.
Yeah, he needs the money.
Yeah. So yeah, just yesterday, it's like, I'm not sure if I went over this, but in order to open that specific medical room, you have to turn the power on the other side of the map.
Oh, okay.
And of course, people spawn all along the outsides of the map. So sometimes it's you spawn, you have to hit the power, and then you have to go in. But half the time it's you spawn next to that room. You run up to that room just in case somebody hits the power.
Yeah, that's what I would
Somebody does. You go in. You are frantically looking around trying to shove everything you can in into your backpack.
Yeah, like...
And then you are getting out. You are getting out as fast as you can, because especially within the first 10 seconds of the raid, if that button is hit, that is everybody in the map pretty much going to that area.
Totally.
Even if you don't have a key, simply because what if you run up on the guy who opened the door, which I'll get to this in a second, and didn't loot the area yet?
Ooh.
What if you run up on him and kill him?
Yeah, then you took everything from that person.
Right, then it's yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's effectively what happened. We spawned in a pretty good spot to get there first. There's only one spawn in the game that could get you there faster, and it's by about 10 seconds. Doesn't seem like much, but in that game, that's enough to get you in and halfway out of that area before somebody else can see you.
Very cool.
So, of course, that guy did spawn there. He did open the door, and as he was trying to loot the inside, because he had stuff in his backpack, I just started shooting at him. And he started freaking out. He blew all of the gun in his all the ammo was an MP5, which is just really fast attack rate gun.
Yeah.
Missed most of his shots, and then didn't hit me in a spot where it would kill me with the rest of them. And then he started throwing grenades.
This is me like
been a good call
in an online video game.
If I didn't know that he had to reload instead, and if I just walked in there, he had to throw a grenade against the wall to kill us both, or you'd get shot to death.
Yeah.
So of course I just walk in and I shoot him. What I have a saw, which is
it's like a minigun, right?
It's not like it's
or
not
a
so much
machine
like a
gun.
minigun. No, well, kind of. I'll call them M series rounds because I'm not so great with the names of this stuff. Where one of the better bullets in the game is just a one tap to the chest through level 4 armor, guaranteed.
Sure.
So if he didn't have class 4 armor, all I needed to kill him was one shot to the chest, and it is a full auto gun.
Nice.
So it's high caliber bullets on full hat.
Spray and pray, baby. Hopefully one shot will take him.
No, it used to be one shot to the chest, but they increased the HP on the chest just to inch it out of that range.
That's good. It sounds probably
I think the bullet does the chest itself has 80 HP.
Okay.
And the bullet itself does 80 damage.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry. Used to have 80 HP, and the chest has 80 hit points.
How much does it have it now?
Hold on.
I'm holding.
Bullet does 80 damage. Chest used to have 80 HP.
Got
now
it.
They inched it up by 5.
Got it. So it's 85 HP.
So it's 85.
That's cool.
There we go. Finally.
Wait, let me go through my spreadsheets. Yeah.
So unfortunately, he takes most of the bullets to the legs and the arms as well. So I'm doing the same exact thing, and I unload 20 bullets into the guy.
He goes down, I assume, though.
He absolutely goes down.
Did he drop the grenade?
No, the grenades all go off outside, and the guy that I'm bringing with is freaking out because he did not see that guy, so he went off to the right, and there's just a little area off to the right where there's loot that spawns.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just in that area, and he's freaking out because he doesn't know what's going on yet. Because this happens within the span of 5 seconds or so.
Sure. And then he just hears a bunch of grenades go off, I imagine.
Yep. He hears a bunch of grenades going off.
What the fuck is going on?
He more or less kind of just goes, ah! Like here the whole time.
Big mood.
And first thing I do is I look to the right, and there's a lead X and a defibrillator on the table.
Nice.
In that room. So that was that whole thing.
Yeah, worth it for the drop, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool, though. It's interesting to hear how
play by
economy.
play for about 30 seconds of how of a raid.
Yeah. But I mean, it's
Well,
cool to hear
2
how
minutes.
the economy of it is working and where it's at right now. Like that's interesting for me. So
Yep. And then if that wasn't exactly greedy enough, we did not immediately leave after that.
of course.
I put the single slide item that was worth as much as what was into my gamma container. I run down the hall, and we hide in this bathroom that is deceptively big. So, if you were just to, this area is dark no matter what time of day it is because it's a bathroom with the lights off. So, if you were to just look into the bathroom through the door, you generally would not be able to tell that the bathroom was not just a straightaway small rectangle aisle, because it has the sinks on one side and then the bathroom stalls on the other. It was just urinals. But on the very beginning of the thing, as you go in, you can take a left into toilet stalls. So
Okay.
generally, there's no good reason to be here.
Unless you're camping for somebody.
Well, that's the thing. If you're camping for somebody, nobody's going in there. Why? Why?
I am because I just like to see bathrooms in video games.
So, and then the other thing is to be perfectly honest, if you sit in the doorway or in a place that's visible to the doorway, they will probably see you first and shoot you. Simply because it's a narrow hallway. If you always at the very least check the doors, because where you are, there's nothing else to check.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I'll just put it: camping there's a bad idea. There's no good reason to go in there, unless you're hoping that nobody else goes into.
It's a good place to collect yourself.
It's the perfect place to AFK. If you have to go to the bathroom, perfect spot.
Just like in real life, you know what I mean? Perfect place to just get out of your head for a little bit.
So most of my limbs are blacked. So they've taken all damage, and once that happens, you cannot heal back up unless you use a specialized healing kit to do that.
Yeah.
So we hang out in there, and we say, "All right, after this, I guess we're gonna go to Kiba."
I like the idea of getting your shit together in a bathroom in a video game. Like, it's very good. And then, of course, get yourself into more trouble.
Anyway, that's the most interesting portion of that, right?
No, that's fun.
So
That's a fun story.
Scott, does it annoy you? Does it even feel like to you? Does like a game like Tarkov is it getting talked enough?
It had its moments, and it continues to have its moments.
Mm-hmm.
So the only annoying portion is how that happens to me, and or how that happens to the game, and that's effectively it gets a ton of PR boost from the Twitch drop events that it does.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people at this point know about the game, but will not pick it up because it is PC only.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so it's like at this point in time, it's if you are somebody that's pretty into Call of Duty, you'll find something to get out of this game. Although if you prefer the Call of Duty because of how fast it is, like, this is not your game.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you were into PUBG because of how slow it was in that way, then this is the game that you should switch to.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And I feel like a good chunk of the people who essentially I feel like a good chunk of people did.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I feel like that audience just found that game.
I mean, I always find it interesting, like obviously I'm guilty of this too. It's like almost like it happens like maybe a couple times a year where like you'll get this blip of like this amazing game on PC, that like no one really talks about, or is like, or is a blip that like it gets some attention and like, oh, it's Doki Doki Literature Club, it's only on PC, you should try it, or oh, it's PUBG, like this amazing game that like that came out of nowhere, you should try it out. Um, like there's always like something like it feels like I guess because I'm somewhat in this ecosystem now that like a lot of things get ignored, almost in the big way, and almost like not in the same way like they should. Like we have like the internet arguing about like the Last of Us stuff, but like like League of Legends is still like pretty fucking good type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
why are we talking about that?
Yeah.
And the best thing I have for it is Tarkov is a game that's closer to League than it is, I would say, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
In its ecosystem, in just the fact that this game itself is a beta.
Yeah.
And the full product kind of seems like the whole ecosystem meta and most of that stuff kind of seemed like at the end of the day it's going to be just a very different game than it is now. And that's I guess the other thing I wanted to bring up was they changed the true starters map customs. That word doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah, I was like,
just they've made, I want to say, 3 expansions to this map.
okay.
And just keep in mind as I explain this map to you that this is supposed to be the early beginners map.
Yeah.
So you can kind of view customs as like a straight line map, like a big giant rectangle that's very thin.
Yeah, I feel like I remember you talking to us about this map before.
Yeah, you spawn one side of the map spawns on the left side of the rectangle. The other side of the map kind of spawns on the right side of the rectangle. A few people spawn in the middle, but it's like a very small amount. So what generally happens in this map is these people that spawn on the ends of the rectangle are kind of boxed in through other, just through other walls that they have in there to make the rectangle interesting. And in order to leave, they have to run into each other.
Yeah.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, hiding in a bush and hoping the other squad leaves first so you can slip out behind them, perfectly valid strategy.
I'm always a fan of bush tactics. You know this. So.
In general, if everybody's dropping in solo, if you're trying to be the last person to do that in line, and everybody's trying to kind of do that, except for the first people that leave, you're waiting behind at least 4 people on each side. So that's essentially to be that late out into getting anywhere, it puts you at a huge positional disadvantage.
Sure.
Because the second you spawn, it takes a certain amount of time to get to certain places. It takes a certain amount of time to do certain things in other places. So once you've gone and you've messed that rhythm up, and your cues are slightly off, generally, you are running into bad fights where you have the lower hand because somebody else is now seeing you first because they're in position to be on a better route than you are. For example, if you are the first person to get to a turn, you're in a good position if you're trying to camp that turn. The reason being is when someone comes around the corner, right, and there can only really be that one vision lane, you are always going to be like able to spot them first because you effectively know where they're going to be coming from. So you can have your sights trained on it first.
Yeah, of course.
And again, once you mess that up, then you lose that advantage.
Okay.
Anyways, that's a bit tangential.
Yeah, sure.
But back to people starting on the other sides of the map. There, in the middle of that rectangle, there used to be one solid constriction point where it was a pretty open bridge. I think there was a train on it still, but that bridge was the only way that you could cross over from one side to the other.
Okay. And now it's
Making it
not the only way?
no, now it's not the only way, but it wasn't. It hasn't been the only way for a while.
Okay.
But the ideas remain the same for a long time up until this new expansion. And effectively, that means on the map that you do most of your early quests in, on the map that pretty much introduces you to the game, when you went to that area, you pretty much had no choice but to fight.
Yeah. Which is not how most of that game goes, right?
It's not how it is how none of the other maps go.
Sure.
So, like, even for a factory, which is a super small, close quarters, you fight for 5 minutes and you leave type of map. So, like, the factory is coined the fighting map. The customs map was like 12 to 15 times more deadly because of that choke point.
Yeah. I feel like I remember you guys talking about this before. Not this specifically, but I remember you guys talking about this map and how it's not a good onboarding for new players.
Right. So now it's a very good onboarding map, but just as that map evolved, that single choke point got widened to like the upper half of that rectangle.
Sure.
And now they've added an expansion on near the bottom side of the rectangle where you can now pass over as well.
Okay. Yeah, it gives it a little bit more flexibility.
Right. And then not to mention, especially for a couple of the exits, there is essentially 2 entrances that can both be camped and shot at from the same location.
Nice.
Into the not into the extract, but into the area that you need to be to get into that extract.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean that's good. That's good that they cleaned that up because I remember.
So
it was a problem
on one hand, you lose essentially the best PvP map in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are now at a stage where if you have money to throw away and you're looking for a fight, you go to customs.
Yeah, get on that bridge.
And you do what you have to do at center instead of trying to sprint out of instead of trying to sprint out of that first area. You move to cut other people off.
Yeah.
You have your fight in that first area. You move up to middle. You have your fight in middle. And then from there, you can kind of cross over into dorms, or you can cross over into a construction site to try and leave. Dorms is always going to be a fight. That's where people congregate to fight at this point.
Yeah.
You will find dorms has the marked room, which is the highest value map on that game. At this stage in the map, you'll find that room just untouched with a ton of dead bodies around, simply because that room does not mean anything to anybody else.
Sure.
Let's go in there.
That's cool though.
And then, of course, you will have your fight near the extract.
Of course. Fight to get out, always.
Right. Sometimes it's just player scavs, which I shouldn't say just. They from the last wipe, they upgraded scavs.
Make it more deadly.
They still spawn with dumb bullshit, stupid loadouts.
Mm-hmm.
You get an AK without a receiver, which is the top slider, or and without a stock.
It's part of that
And
chaos.
it has a drum mag on it.
That's actually pretty good. It's a big ass magazine on this.
Yeah,
AK-47.
you got a balaclava on, but apparently, I guess he's cut a hole in the balaclava to put a cigarette through it.
Of course. Let everybody know where he's at, you know.
And you got a police baseball cap on.
Over the balaclava.
Yeah. Yep.
Looking like a crazy person. This guy looks like a fucking psychopath.
And then, for some reason, he actually has good ammo in that gun. Ammo that can penetrate class 4 armor.
Of course. He's got a big magazine for it, so he's got to get all those bullets out.
Yeah, in the past it was when you've had that kind of a magazine and that kind of a loadout, it was kind of just the worst because the drum mag itself adds a ton of recoil to your gun. You don't have a stock to manage that recoil, and then the receiver just drops your ergonomics.
It's just shooting a bunch of bullets
So-
all over the goddamn place.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
because how the recoil works in this game is unpredictable recoil.
Nice.
So it's not like Counter-Strike where you can get a feel for the gun you're using and drag back. That dragging your mouse anywhere as you're shooting is effectively meaningless as you're on auto fire.
Sure.
It kind of works when you are doing single fire and tapping your shots, but as you're on auto fire, it does not help you one bit.
I just love this idea of this front-weighted AK-47 just looking like a goddamn mess, just splurting all over the place.
Yeah, it's really funny because the best way to handle that gun is to just have auto fire off,
Yeah, of course. Probably like single fire or whatever.
and then you don't have iron sights, but you gotta try.
You make do, yeah. Totally. Cool. You see you had video games to talk about, Scott.
Mostly just Tarkov.
Yeah, but
It's
it's,
basically what it's
it's good. It's good to get the update. Listen, Tony gets Path of Exile updates. I'm like chewing out all these little details. I'm gonna look for more too. Anything else, Scotty?
No, I forgot to order the new charger for the Switch, so
I lost mine when
That
I
was
moved,
planned.
so I've been through this as well.
that I planned to do that. Completely just didn't.
Sure. Here's your reminder, Scott. Order a new charger for your Switch.
Do it right now.
Do it right now.
Yeah, all right.
All right, good idea.
All right.
Well, you do that, Tony. Video games.
I played all Path of Exile all the time.
Hell yeah, man. Any good juicy update? Playing with any new people, or just still having a good time with it?
So I've switched builds a couple times over the last week. I've reached the pinnacle,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah.
I built the most expensive build you can build, and then I was like, this is fucking boring. It's too good. So I got rid of that, and I was like, there's this one insanely good weapon that's been floating around, so I mirrored that, which using it like you actually using that crazy currency to make an exact copy of it.
Yeah.
And built a build around that. But a couple days ago, like it had mostly just been me and one other guy from like our group of people who play PoE that were still playing. We were both playing this auto bomber build, and he stopped playing the league earlier this week. He's like, all right, I did everything I wanted to do, which is normal for about 6 weeks into a league, that most people are done and waiting for the next one. So now it's just me still playing. Everybody else has quit. So my character's level 99. I'm gonna get it to level 100 and then probably back it up for the league.
Wash your hands of it.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah, it's been cool hearing this league in particular with all the cool stuff they've been doing.
Yeah, this has probably been the best league that Path of Exile's ever had, to be honest, at least for me.
Yeah.
It's just like hella fun being able to actually like, make your gear the way that you can get it to a point that you can do whatever you want. And it's used to be that making gears basically unachievable unless you are in the top 1%, which to be fair, this league I am in the top 1% for sure.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But it being this league makes it so that everything is attainable. And that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So I played 6 builds throughout the league and ended on a really cool one.
Yeah, and you made your own this one too.
Yeah, twice.
Cool.
Yeah, so I basically put together the best possible version of the build that I'm currently running. And then I got rid of everything else. And my other goal was to give away or spend all of the money, And I did that mostly. I gave away a ton of money to a bunch of people and like free crafts and free items and all that stuff.
That's awesome.
And then with whatever I had left, there is a certain item that you can get. It's basically like a special map it gives access to the highest experience per hour area in the whole game. and they're very expensive. So to get to level 100, I've just spammed like 200x worth of this item.
Yeah.
In groups with people. So basically, groups are maximum size 6 people. So people just stack a 6-man group. Everybody brings 1 stone, and then you do 6 runs. And then if people want to stay or leave, or they need to get another stone or whatever, then we'll cycle through people. So I've been doing that for the past couple days, and the experience is insane. And it's good because it's pretty safe too. Because if you die at level 99, that's hours of work.
Yeah.
That you have to redo.
That's a lot of work.
It's 1% per map with this most efficient experience thing.
100 maps.
So it's since I hit level 99, now I'm at level 99 and 31%. So I have another 69 or 61. No, 69 left to go. So yeah, it's good. It's good. I had a great time with Pad.
Also, sorry, I wasn't
PoE.
fast enough. Nice.
It's all good. I had a great time with PoE, and I'm excited to see. I might still play a little bit after I hit level 100.
Yeah.
Because then I can just do whatever the hell I want, and it doesn't matter if I die. Because you don't lose any experience when you're at max level.
Yeah, you've beaten the game, effectively.
Technically, if I wanted to keep playing, there's a lot of challenges that I could do that are per season challenges. There's some end game grinds, like to kill the last boss 100 times. I've only killed him 7 times.
Jeez.
A couple other things, but I don't know how much I really want to grind that stuff out. I don't think I'm an efficient enough player to do that in a timely manner. Because to kill the last guy 100 times, you either need to be constantly grinding maps all day, every day to spawn him 100 times, because that takes a while.
Yeah.
Typically, I could spawn him 1 time a day if I was really playing a ton of maps. So you have to kind of can network with other people and share boss kills and stuff to try and get that done. And there's 6 other tasks like that. Reach level 100 is one of them. So I will have completed that one. And we'll be able to check mark off at some point during my Path of Exile career, I got a level 100 character 1 time.
Yeah. Which is a big deal, yeah.
But yeah, I'm already far and above all my league goals for this league. Yeah, I made way more currency than I would have needed to get the most expensive single item thing. So that's done. I'm going to hit level 100, which is not even an original goal. The actual goal was get to a high enough level that you are listed on the rank site for Path of Exile. And I am listed on there in the top 10,000 players now.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Do you know what rank you are of the 10,000?
No idea.
Okay. Cool. That's so cool, though.
Yeah, but getting on that site is pretty neat because of all the people that play, only the top in total experience get listed. So it's pretty easy in the first couple of days if you're fast, but then the people that grind are the only ones that actually end up showing up on there. So
yeah, I was gonna say, for Path of Exile, does it have downtime between leagues, or?
So the way really, the way that most people play is a league will start. People will play for somewhere between 2 and 6 weeks, and by the end of 6 weeks, most people have quit. But the way that the leagues are set up, one league goes for 3 months, that league ends, and the next league starts, and goes for 3 months.
Yeah.
That league ends, and the next league starts. This one specifically has been a little bit shorter because of the whole COVID thing, I believe.
Sure.
Messed with their scheduling a little bit, and the next league apparently is a pretty big one.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly what that means for the schedule. But it's typically they just do 4 leagues a year, 1 every 3 months. And it's always starts on that specific Friday every 3 months, so people know when to take off work. There's a whole video that the devs did on their philosophy behind that, and how they design the game so that people will constantly come back and all that. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always a very predictable schedule, so that people know, hey, I'm ready to play some PoE. I'm going to come back and play this league, or they might be thinking you know what, I played a lot last league. I don't know if I'm ready to play again this other one. I'm not really the biggest fan of what they're doing special for this league. I'm just going to skip this one. I'll come back in another 3 months. We'll be all good. That they want to encourage people to be able to do that too. So
yeah, I think that approachability is the most important thing. As long as it's not difficult to get back into it, then
right,
that's fine. Yeah, cool. Anything else you played this week?
Nope.
Cool. I played some games this week, not a lot. I really tried to focus in on finishing Paper Mario, which I did, which we'll talk about in a second. First thing, Namashi, you're the person who played Control. Did you know about the Kojima thing in that game?
No.
The Kojima cameo in that game. Okay,
Yeah.
It makes me feel better that I wasn't the only person that didn't know about this. There's a Kojima cameo in that game. I've been playing Control again for whatever reason, just running around finding secrets. And so there's like these. I don't know how I missed this the first time. And the thing is with it, when it's tied to Control, it's like it makes me think it's like, oh, this fucking Mandela effect shit of like, no, this has always been there, but they just secretly put this in there. But there's this like sensory deprivation chamber that you can find. It's like a secret area off to the side, not really secret, but where you can go and listen to these audio tapes of this Dr. Yoshimi Tokui, and he's like this Japanese like motivational speaker, played by Hideo Kojima. For just I think for fun, it makes a lot of sense that him as like a cameo as a character in this game, and you find there are like 2 hidden tapes throughout the bureau, and they're pretty well hidden. Like they're often obscure areas, and they don't like highlight them. You have to like kind of walk up to them and find them. So you take them back to the sensory deprivation room, and you get in the tank, and you play this tape, and it's like Kojima, and it's a double cameo. It's him and like one of his people at Kojima Productions, the person that's always with him that translates for him. So it's him reading Kojima reading in Japanese being this doctor, like telling you these motivational things of like you're dreaming, and you're imagining yourself on a beach, and the beach makes you feel powerful. And so then it goes back and forth with him and then his translator, again, another real life person. I don't know the translator's name, but maybe I can find it. But Aki Saito, the Kojima head of marketing, that's his name, who I've definitely seen with him in interviews. But it's great. It's just Kojima just has so much fun with it as like the read of like these. When you go into the chamber, like the video game part of it is like you wake up in like this big empty room, and like the things that he's saying start happening around you, and you play through like these pretty short, like motivational tapes into weird dreamscapes, and it's just very funny. He just hams it up really hard. And I was not expecting it. I hadn't seen it like over a year later now, or about a year since this game came out. I still hadn't known about this cameo. But when I found it, I just thought it was cool, and then I looked it up. I'm like, what is this? And I found it was Kojima, because I didn't know at the time. And it's really funny. If you had not seen it at all, I would encourage looking it up.
Okay.
It was a fun little surprise, like to find later when just looking for secrets in that game. Not a lot to say about it, but that was just a thing I found out about that game this week. One of the other things I played, which I don't normally do this. I told you about this yesterday in Option, I think. We were testing the stream, but I played. There's a fan made Legend of Zelda game called The Legend of Zelda: The Missing Link.
Ooh, I heard about this.
Yeah, and
Play it?
I did play it.
Oh, you did play it.
I did play it. Yeah. So it's like a fan patch for Ocarina of Time. So you patch Ocarina of Time to this version. And it's a little bit of Majora's Mask assets in there too. So the idea is like it's a connective tissue between the very end of Ocarina of Time and the beginning of Majora's Mask. So like narratively, it tries to fit itself in the canon of Zelda there, of like, oh, what happened when Link left Hyrule looking for Navi, and like what was the motivation, what series of events led him to end up where Termina is and where the Skull Kid is and all that. And it's fun because it's a fan made thing, but they have like like cutscenes and stuff. It's it's an N64 game. Like it looks and plays and feels like an N64 game because it's just a modded version of Ocarina of Time. But it's got new music. It's got new character models, new locations based on like old assets, and the new music's actually really good for fan-made Zelda music. I was really impressed. It's got this kind of eeriness to it that reminds me a lot of Majora's Mask, which is always a good thing, always a compliment. And they play around with like there's like cutscenes in a way that N64 didn't really do it because like people didn't know how to do that really at the time, and also like you go into like areas and you'll find like little bits of lore that try and make homage to the greater Zelda timeline and stuff like that, which is mostly like kind of neat. It's not anything super crazy or special, but I liked it. It was cool. So playing it. It's pretty short, it's like 3 hours long. It's cool. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I want to go so far as to say like I've seen a lot, reading a comment section. It's like, oh, this is so good. It feels like it has the spirit of a Zelda game, and I think it definitely has a lot of that in it. The weirdness it gets. It feels a lot like Majora's Mask, like tonally, like I said. But it's a little stilted in places where it just kind of feels stiff in a way. Some of the level design is messy in a way that I don't know if it feels like fully Zelda-y, but like for a fan thing, there's a lot of great stuff in here. So like the map, it uses like the same menus as Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask from the N64. The map, they made a whole new map for this, all new locations and all new names of locations. It's really gorgeous, in that same Ocarina of Time map style.
Did they use like the character models as far as like the assets from like Twilight Princess HD or 3D?
No, it's all.
I don't know why I said Twilight Princess.
Yeah. Ocarina of Time HD or 3D. It's all original N64 assets, and it's funny. Like they use mostly Majora's Mask assets because it looked a little bit sharper. It's had the memory expansion, so it looked a little bit better than Ocarina of Time. But they also use some of the worst Ocarina of Time assets in some places. But it's all very much the old stuff, and it's classic, and it looks like an N64 game. I bet if you patch this version. Oh, go ahead, Scott.
I'll put it this way: it looks like if the game released like this,
yeah,
it's believable.
Yeah,
but it probably feels like that's not what Nintendo would release.
Yeah, some of the like the artistic choices, and like in cases where like you see a thing on a wall, it's like this is clearly a reused asset. But sometimes they made some original assets for this game that are really cool. It's not nothing. There's a new item in it that I won't spoil, but it's a wholly original item, and how it works is pretty cool.
Fuck shot.
Yeah, it's the fuck shot. Finally,
I could spoil it.
Yeah, you can spoil it, Scott.
Because I'm not entirely sure why we're holding it, because it's not like it.
If anyone out there wanted to play it, it's a cool surprise how it works and all that.
I don't see how the item itself would quantify as a spoiler.
For me, like I going through a Zelda dungeon.
I will just put a spoiler warning here.
Yeah, I'll put a spoiler tag in the description.
It is a time rewinder.
Mm-hmm.
So from what I watched of it, you got it, and to get out of the area, you had to drop down into a hole where there was no way out, and then rewind time.
Yeah, like throws you back to where you were a few seconds ago. It's cool. They use it in a lot of cool ways of like moving blocks around and then throwing yourself away from where you move the block and stuff like that. It reminds me a lot of an item that you would get in like one of the DS games, like the way it's implemented and the way the puzzles are built around it. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool. The music's good. The story is sweet. I like what they do, like with the framing of it. I think it's cool. And it's fine, like it didn't blow me away, but it's like 3 hours. So if you're like kind of itching for that classic Zelda Nintendo 64 era game, it's worth a shot. It's a quick little jaunt. That is the only other new thing I played, but so I finished Origami King this week. Man, I wish I felt good about that game after finishing it. I've been like trying to think about what I want to say about this game, and because I felt pretty good about it last week, and there's a lot of stuff I like about it, and I feel like that's always going to be what I'm going to say. Like, I like a lot of this, but like by the end of it, the things that I didn't like about that game had like beaten out a lot of the things I liked about it. But I don't know. Like I feel like the very last chunk of the game is just one of the worst parts of it, unfortunately, because it has a lot of things in it that aren't great, and like are very drawn out. And I was like, please just let this be over. Like there's a quiz show mini game in the last kind of chapter that like is arguably I would say like the worst part of the whole game, just because of how it plays, how it feels. It feels like totally different than everything else. It doesn't feel good. The puzzles that they have you do don't feel good. I don't like. And it's like weirdly, extremely challenging. Like barely any time given to you, and very complicated things you have to do in a quick amount of time. And it's like, sudden. There's no real setup for it. And then if you fail, like there's like a thing at the end where you have to memorize something from earlier in the game. If you fail that, you have to do the whole thing over again, which happened to me. Almost happened to me twice. In which case, like I was so upset. I was so frustrated because of the things that lead up to that part, and then that part, that I almost was like, I'm not going to finish this game. But I knew I was close to the end, so I powered through. But yeah, it just kind of like, it doubles down on the combat puzzles in a lot of ways. Like there's a lot of boss fights back to back to back, and I liked some of the earlier fights. Some of the middle fights are fine, and then they have a couple of cool ones again. And then when you have to do a bunch at the very end, back to back to back, it made me just not even like that anymore. I was like, I don't even like these boss fights anymore. So again, it kind of beat my enjoyment out of that. And then just kind of kept going with the combat stuff that, like, I realized the spinning and alignment puzzle stuff, which I thought was fine toward the early of the game. I hated, like actively hated by the end of the game. It is like those slide puzzles, like where you have to move you have the one missing square and you have to move the squares around to make the picture. It's just that in a circle instead of a square. I hate those. It just made me like, it all fell into kind of like a bitterness circle for me by the end of it. And especially like the stuff they have you do at the very end, the stuff they have you do with switching, rotating those goddamn things around in that quiz show section. A lot of the enemies toward the end, like fighting them, was just like, I was so over it. I saw somebody tweet out this week that the writing in this game feels like it knows it has to carry the weight of the rest of the game on it. And that just having that in my head for the end of it was like, I can't unsee this now. Yeah, it was just like a perfect storm of like really disappointing by the end of it. I like it. It's fine. But yeah, it left a really sour taste in my mouth by the time I was finished with it, which bums me out. It makes me so fucking sad. It just, next time you make a Paper Mario game, just either do it right or just take the combat out of it. Just let it be an adventure game. For me, for all the kids out there. And I've been seeing a lot of people. It's funny, like I had this feeling, I was so bummed out about not liking the game. I think overall by the end of it, and liking the writing and whatnot, fine. But seeing a bunch of other people, like I at least this game does speak to people that aren't attached to the previous Paper Mario games. But I knew going into this, like having Thousand Year Door in my head and thinking about that game over and over again, there's probably no way I was gonna walk into this game really satisfied. But I was hoping, I guess, to get a little bit more than what I got. But it's over. I'm liberated. It also, like, I kept having the thought, it feels like I'm playing that game in slow motion. That's how slow it feels a lot of times, and that's a bummer also. But yeah, I don't have anything really nice to say about it. But that's it. It's over. It's like 33, 32 hours long, maybe a little bit over, a little bit less than that, maybe. And so it's shorter than the other Paper Mario games, I would say, but too much. Ugh was my review at the end of it, my one-word review. Ugh. That's it for video games. That's all I got prepared for the show this week. Didn't get any questions. No, I didn't play news. The Nintendo League stuff happened. We kind of talked about it at the top here, but we actually had some dense video game talk. Nearly 2 hours worth of it. So let's just throw it out of here, and we'll get to bets, and we'll end the show. But yeah, it was good video games this week. If you'd like to be a part of the show, you can email us, mailsack@irrationalpassions.com's email address. Leave us a voicemail at 404-590-1337. Standard long distance fees do apply. And Twitter your questions at IrrationalPod. Just use the hashtag IPQ. It makes it easier for me to find it. For everything Irrational Passions, you follow us on Twitter at IrrationalPod. And you can follow myself and Nobshin on Twitter. I am Alfighter27. Nobshin's at NABSHIN186. For our video stuff, like Viewpoints, we've been doing about one of those a week. And hopefully we'll have another one this week. And look for the RPGU Dungeons & Dragons archive, live stream, all that stuff. Just Twitch and YouTube, look for Irrational Passions, all the video stuff. And also tomorrow we're going to be streaming Mario Party 2 and seeing how that goes. Rate and review us wherever you listen, whether that's Apple Podcasts or Spotify, whatever you prefer. And check out everything else, irrationalpassions.com. We've reached the end of the show, fellas. It's time for bets. I thought it's nice and simple. Simple and clean bet. What will the Open Critic average review score for Fast and Furious Crossroads be?
50.
I love it, Scott, coming out bold.
I have a better bet.
Now, if you're unfamiliar with Fast and Furious Crossroads, I wouldn't say it looks a little rough, but it looks a little rough. But
I didn't know.
No, you were honestly probably right on the money, Scott. So yeah, Scott said 50. Tony, what's your bet?
My vote is that we don't do that bet and do a different one instead.
Well, what you got?
I want to bet on who's gonna win tomorrow.
Oh, that's actually good. All right, yeah, you're right.
What are we talking about?
Fuck this. The Mario Party.
Oh. Howard's gonna win.
Who wins Mario Party tomorrow?
Howard's gonna win.
I agree. No, Tony's gonna win. I know it. He's got some fucking fucked up, devious plan.
I'm gonna hack into Nobshin's computer.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
And hack into his emulator and change the code, bro.
I mean, no offense to us, Scott. I think you and I are gonna have a fun time, but it is either gonna be Tony or Nobshin.
Well, the only reason I say this is because it's gonna be very hard to, what's it called?
Control?
Yes. And it's not because the latency is going to be that bad. It's going to be because the latency is going to mess up with how we learn the game.
Sure. I mean, we're going to have 50 turns, dude. We'll settle in. We're going to have time to learn.
My bet is that Scott will win.
Okay. Nobshin, are you bet that I'm going to win to balance that? No, don't bet that. Everyone knows I'm not going to win.
I'm just
Can you bet on yourself?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll bet on myself.
Hell yeah, dude.
I like the confidence.
I like that no one thought I was going to win. Which is, again, completely fair. Yeah, who will win Mario Party tomorrow? I like that. Better bet, Tony. I am curious about how Fast and Furious Crossroads is going to review, though. Probably poorly. Last week's bets. What will the PS4 trophy completion percentage for the Rockwell Death Knell?
I bet 0.
Destroy all humans. Yeah, you didn't bet for this, Tony, so you bet 0%?
Yeah.
Cool. So Tony bet 0% to be on brand. Scott bet 80%. Nobshin bet 72%. I bet 73%. The number was 81%. Blown. Scott, I think that's 2 weeks in a row. No, it was 2 weeks before this that you got it. Damn, dude. Scott's climbing the ladder, leaving me in the fucking dust.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, this is gonna be embarrassing.
Get the fuck up here. What are you doing?
I'm gonna be buying everybody burritos by the end of this. Brings the bet totals. Nobshin still in the lead, 8 points. Nobshin won. No, Tony, you won last week's bet. Also worth noting.
Okay. What was-
Because
which one was that?
that was the Halo. How long will Master Chief stand still? Mike
Oh yeah.
Mike got it right, and he was on your team, so you got the point.
Nice.
So Nabishin lead at 8. Tony right behind him at 7 points. Scott not far behind that at 5 points. Me pretty far behind that at 3 points. Taking up the rear. I'm just giving you guys a false sense of security. You know what I mean? That's the show. Thank you everybody so much for hanging out and listening. Thanks again to Nicole Humphrey hanging out in chat right now. A couple people popped in the chat while we were going. So thank you to everybody that tuned in live, that listens over on the podcast services on Tuesday. We appreciate you. Thank you to Danny Wiesner for opening music of 2-Player Co-op and closing music of The World Is Saved. Scott, I mean, you won, man. Do you have any final thoughts, final words? Something you want to throw out there, reiterate?
Yeah. When are you gonna be joining me, Tarkov, dude?
Yeah, I don't know if that I can run Tarkov on my computer, but when I give up in probably 8 months and buy and build a PC like Nabishin did this year, then I'll play Tarkov with you for sure.
Oh yeah.
If you're ever in the neighborhood, you can play on my PC with Scott.
Weren't you gonna do this a
I
few months ago? I
was,
remember
but
you.
I
Yeah.
ended up spending the money on something else. So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, it's not, it's something I want to save for. I just
Listen, the fucking Daki Makara covers were not going to purchase themselves. Alex took one for the team.
exactly. Tony gets me. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Priorities. Jesus. That's the show. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Nabishin, for joining me. As always, I love you, boys. You're the best podcast co-host a guy could ask for. Thank you, everyone out there. Be kind to each other. Be wonderful. We love you very much. Play your games. Stay rational. We will talk to you all next week.
Titles? We got hey,
I
how
forget
pretty is your character?
what that was in reference.
Get on that bridge and Fook shot.
It was the Sonic thing, the hey thing. There was hey or what?
Yeah. Hold on. If I can find a clip of it.
Can you find this audio?
Yeah. Let me find this.
I can't pull up the Discord chat while we're streaming, so I don't know what you guys are saying in there.
I just posted a link to the PoE
Okay, cool.
site where they got all my items on there.
Okay, cool. I'll check that after. Hey. What do you like, Tony? That's the title. Well, Nabishin looks up this audio clip. How pretty is your character? It's good.
Yeah, right. Scott finally made a not ugly character.
No, it's a miracle. See, you thought ahead. You got that 2-minute video. I appreciate it. Fook shot? Nothing, Tony.
Sorry, I was watching the 2-second video.
Oh,
I'm okay with any of them. I'll vote for all 4.
okay. Scotty? What do you want the title to be? It's hey, how pretty is your character? Get on that bridge and Fook shot.
It's a tie between Hey and I finally made a good looking character.
If I do hey, I probably have to cut in the audio clip of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can do that. That's not hard. Nabishin?
Hey, because someone modded Starbound to have fucking the hey
Hey.
shit on it.
That's pretty good. That was actually a title I wrote down also. Fun fact. Tony's like, I rescind. I only support the last 3 titles. All right, let's do hey. I'll cut in the audio clip. Tony, do you want to say the episode number?
Hold on, I'm watching this 55-second video.
Okay. I'll wait.
That's good, dude.
Excited to watch this after this.
Yeah.
You good, Tony?
Yeah, what's the number?
It's 476.
You're listening to the Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 476.
Boom. Thanks everybody for watching. We love y'all. Have a good night.